Very warm welcome to tonight's live, and tonight I'll be going through the sales process, how you can basically figure out if a customer is actually just after a cheap job, and you know they're probably just going to cause loads of troubles in any case. The sales script and what questions you can ask them to find out what they are after, truly after, and what kind of customer they are, and what to ask to find out what kind of charges they are used to. So if you don't know me by now, I'm Ilse Whiteman. I'm the cleaning coach, and I'm the creator of the Cleaning Coach Training Academy. So what I'm going to do tonight is literally take you inside the cleaning magnet system, because this is like one of the lessons I teach in there, just to give you a rough idea, obviously, of how to find out what your customers are after. So you know, you don't get those customers that are literally just after price, and then they end up being problems afterwards, and they don't appreciate your cleaning. So firstly, remember, even if you afterwards watching the replay, please remember to just say hi down below. Please remember just to let me know where you're from and say hi. So I like lots of hearts. So remember to love and some thumbs up. So I'm going to take you now inside my training academy. So basically, this is just the magnet course, and what I'll be actually doing is, you can see all the lessons in there. It's taking you through basically what to choose a sales process, or how to sell yourself without being salesy, and into this lesson 1. So I'm just going to run you through. Obviously, if you go into it, then you'll see the details. Obviously the video, and then you get your worksheet, your download for every lesson. First thing, when they ask you and says how much you charge, you should, like I say, you should be aware already that they might be one of those that's literally just price orientated. They're going to expect you to do loads of work and work your bum off, and they're going to probably constantly complain because they're never going to be happy. What you can say to them is, the first sort of sentence is, for us, it's not about getting as many clients as we can to a certain standard, to charge a lesser price, or to charge a lot less. And we do charge a lot more than other cleaning companies normally charge, because our standards are so much higher. So our clients tend to be more quality focused than quantity focused. And whatever their response to that is going to be your answer. Because if they're literally just after price, they're going to go, oh, okay, thank you, no thank you. Because you're already saying, like, we're going to be more expensive. And there is nothing wrong with being more expensive, because you know what you deliver cleaning wise, and you charge accordingly. There's no point working for peanuts if you clean like really, really well. So then, if it's obviously a customer that is after price only, you will get the okay, thank you very much, and bye. If it's somebody obviously that is seriously after a really good cleaning service, and they will appreciate you, they will say, well, you can then say to them, okay, fair enough, yeah, I appreciate that, I will still like a quote. Then it's a different story. So then you can say to them, okay, so we don't give quotes over the phone, ever, and we never sort of give a price without seeing the property first and meeting you first, so we can see if we are a good fit for each other. And then basically just ask her if you can meet. When is a convenient time for me to come have a look? And let's meet each other, have a chat. And by doing that, you're making them feel comfortable, at ease, and that you care about them, because you're going to take that extra effort. It's just to, like I say, you already know that customer is a little bit warmer in that sense. And then what you can ask her is, why are you looking for a different cleaning provider? Why have you called me today? Just to find out more about you before I come and see you. And then it will be, obviously, they always say, well, my cleaner's let me down, or I've never had a cleaner. Alarm bells. Because you should know then, if they've never had a cleaner, it's going to be harder for you, especially if you charge a bit more. If they say, well, we've had a cleaning service, then you know you can charge your normal going rates. If they just say cleaner, they're probably not going to be used to your prices if you charge higher prices as a cleaning service. But what you could do to in that sort of situation is, I always sort of say you have to column your customers. So column A, column B, column C. So column A will be your sort of very first clients, and the ones you're very reluctant to put the price up because you're the closest to them, but you should put your prices up. But they will be on the lower category, but you can bring your customers in as a funnel. So if the customer says, oh, my cleaner, you know that that's somebody that didn't have insurance. They literally just sort of off the street. So then, you know, you can still get that job, but you just have to go in a little bit lower because they're not used to high cleaning charges. If they say cleaning service, then you know, okay, you're good to go with your price. You know how to then level your price out. And if they said, I've never had a cleaner, good luck, because you then have a lot of work educating them how cleaning works, how pricing works, what to do, what not to do, and certain things they are going to have no idea. Take them on, fair enough, but just remember they won't be used to your high prices, and they probably will go, what? You know, cleaners charge £5 an hour, don't they? I've had that one actually quite a lot in my business. So, and then obviously once you're sort of at that stage, you can ask them, okay, so how many hours did that cleaner or cleaning company spend at your house? And obviously they'll give you an answer, but you already, by that answer, they're going to give you sort of a rough idea. If you want, you can ask them, how much did you pay? If you want, you will, even if they give you an answer, the likelihood of them actually telling you the truth is probably zero, because they're going to want to get it. Well, actually, if they've got any sales experience, they're going to say low, because they want the lowest price possible. Because obviously you want to, as much as possible, be within their budget. And although you're going to tell them that, you're still going to charge what you charge. But there's ways around obviously getting into that, or getting around that. And if they've had a cleaner or a cleaning service, or they just had a no cleaner ever before. So then you know how to handle that situation. Then you'll know the amount of sort of hours they're after already. So you know, if it's 2 hours, say for instance they say 2 hours, then you know for a fact, obviously they're calling you for a reason. They're not happy. They've been let down. And most cases it will be, well, we're not happy with the standards. So what I would suggest, if they say 2 hours, you go in at 2.5 hours. However, your first two cleans, remember, always have to be a lot longer, because it doesn't matter how many companies call you and say, look, I've had a professional company in, can you now come and clean? Don't ever believe them. Don't ever think I'm going to charge less because a professional company's already been in, so it's going to be clean. Because believe me, there's so many companies out there that say they're professional and then deliver very bad standards. So it's just getting around that. But you're going to have quite a lot of information already on how to quote for that job and how to be able to, well, do it in the correct way. So for them to know as well, you're sharing, you're finding out, you're emotionally sort of connecting with them. We'll try to sort of get that question in twice about what are you not happy with, or what did they do that you're not happy with, and listen. And then you have to ask a question. Like if she says, well, they weren't very good. And then you'll sort of say, well, that's really horrible. It's not very nice. So what was it exactly that they did? Blah, blah, blah. It's asking that questions over. And then when they give you an answer with a question to really get to the point. And then one of my customers once said, well, I found out she nicked a bag of sugar after about 4 questions. And you're like, what an odd thing to take. But in any case, it's some people do. But it's just literally trying to find out, because you need that, whatever she wasn't happy with, to then include into your email that you're going to send afterwards. I actually give you examples of the emails in my magnet system, but that's very important that when you email her after this appointment, after you've gone to see her, to actually email her and say, right, so focus on the bits that why she really wasn't happy. And once you make that emotional connection with her there, you're near enough there. Well, not near enough, you probably are there, because customers are looking for an emotional connection. It's like Coke. I mean, Coke is such a massive, big company and they advertise all the time. But you know, Coke they don't advertise Coke. They don't say, here's Coke, buy it. They advertise Coke because it's the feeling of family and fun that Coke gives you. So that's what they advertise, the feeling. And that's what you need to get over with your cleaning service. It's not, we clean, here we go. It's the feeling that your cleaning service provides. And if you connect with a lot more people on that emotional level, you will find getting customers a lot easier. And also, you're going to make that connection with them, which means you're basically going to blow their minds because you're so much different than anybody else out there. And they will tell a lot more people. Trust me, this works. So once you've done that, obviously you comment on how horrible it is that she's gone through that, and that no customer ever have to go through that again, and that you apologize. That there are cleaning services out there that basically they do this to people. When are you available today for me to come and see you? Now, I know what you're already thinking probably, but hang on a minute, but I don't have time during the day, and I don't have time this and this. You have to make a certain amount of time available in the evenings for this. I'm not saying necessarily during the day, because if you can't during the day, you can't. You really can't, because you can't let your current customers down to go and see new customers. But it's a case of trying to get at her house as soon as possible after that phone call, because her head is there. She's buying. She's deciding she wants, you're making that connection. The quicker you can get her to the yes, I'll pay you this much, come and clean for me. The quicker you can make that transition, the better your chances. It's probably about 90% or 100% better than if you say, oh, okay, I can't see you for 2 or 3 days. So by then she's had other cleaning companies in, and by then it's not an emergency anymore. That point where she's making that phone call, that's the important stage. So even if you can schedule something out or do something different to go and see her as soon as possible, do it. And obviously it depends on her availability. Guys, remember, if you've got any questions in the meantime, ask them, and I'll answer some questions afterwards, after I've gone through the sales script. And then you basically just say to her, right, so when is the best time for me to come and see you? Because you want to make it as sort of about them as much as possible, rather than about you. You never say, oh, I'm busy or whatever. It's not about you, it's about them. So then when they say, okay, well, I get home tonight, say for instance, 5, so I can do after 5. And then you'll sort of say, okay, well, I'm seeing another customer at sort of 7. So I'm sure it will be perfectly fine if I could maybe come at 6:30. Is that convenient for you? Then if she says yes, then fine, you organize it for 6:30. But if she says no, then you say, oh, okay, so what other evening can you do? And she says, well, maybe tomorrow night. And then you never say, okay. You say, let me check my diary. Because remember, you're busy. You're very, very busy. If you just have all this time sort of spare, then at the end of the day, they're going to think, okay, so, yeah. You need to sort of obviously say to them, look, I'm very busy. I'll check my diary. And then obviously arrange for a time to go and see her. And then you need to make very, very sure that you get her email address. Now, one thing I did wrong, and a lot of my managers did wrong through running my cleaning business, was actually the fact that of getting that first email address wrong, writing it down wrong. It's a very easy mistake to make. So the best thing you can do is actually ask them, can you email me? Or can you text me? Because obviously they probably, in most cases these days, they're texting or phoning you on your mobile. So you'll have the number already. So you can just say, oh, I'll text you and you text me, but can you please text me your email address? Because I need to send you a confirmation about our meeting, and just to make sure it's still all right with you and that you agree that I can come and see you, and just for you to agree, obviously, for me to email you, just a confirmation email. Obviously, I've never had a no. So they'll obviously send you your email address, but at least you won't get it wrong, and then you have to embarrassingly have to phone them back and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't get your email address. Because in this email is a very important email, because obviously you're going to state there, but thank you very much for calling us. We look forward to seeing you this day and this day. In the meantime, here's a checklist, and this checklist is basically for them not so much to check, not for them to see, what you're going to do. It's more to show authority, to show you're different, completely different, because you're going to wow her. Because I bet you, nobody else is going to sort of do this apart from people in this sort of cleaning coach group. So nobody else knows about this, and I've never heard or seen any other cleaning company do this. But you're sending that checklist over to them to say, look at me. So you're making that impression, and you're already saying, before you've even seen them, look how good I am. Isn't that awesome? So you're giving that impression, and then just ask them, fill it out. If they don't fill it out, hey, just take one with you in any case on the walkthrough. But if they do, brilliant. So it's just for them to see and for you to build authority. And if they do fill it in, you can then later, obviously, sort of tailor that checklist to them. Obviously, that checklist is very thorough. Remember, inside my private group is the domestic and end of tenancy checklist that you can use, include and make it your own. And then, obviously, you need to finish the call or the sales call before you go and see her with 2 very important questions, because you need to make sure that she understands you don't just jump for customers and you don't just go and do any customer. You choose your customers, which in the ideal world, that's what you need to do, because you need to choose your customers, because otherwise you're going to get to customers that's going to make your life hell and you're going to feel like quitting every 5 minutes. Because I remember I used to in the beginning. Literally, it's so frustrating. They don't appreciate you. They really don't even care about you. It's not personal, but I used to take it personal. I don't know if you do, but please don't take it personal. But that's what happens. So then you just got to ask them. Obviously, make sure you're going to obviously say about the emailing. I'm going to email you. You give me permission. Yes, blah, blah, blah. And then you say to them, so if you don't mind me asking you one last question, although there's 2, you're going to say that, obviously, one last question, and she'd obviously say sure, she's not going to say no. Then you just say to her, if I turn up, say for instance, you don't like my car, or you don't like my hair, or you don't like the shirt I'm wearing, or you don't like me, or you don't like the way I talk, do you promise me that you will be open and honest with me and tell me that you don't like me, or you don't like what you're sort of seeing? Because what you want to create is that honesty, and you want to say to her, look, I'm transparent. You're in safe hands. I will look after you, because I want you to tell me if I'm not good. And I want you to tell me if I need to change my car if you don't like it. Well, actually, you'll probably say tough if they don't like your car. But obviously, remember always to turn up in a clean car. But it's just to reinstate the trust us, you're in safe hands, I'm going to take care of you. I'm not going to do what your other cleaning company did or what your other cleaner did. So just really emphasize on you're safe, right? So then obviously they're going to say, yes, sure. I don't think I've ever heard a no. And then you ask them, so do you mind then, obviously, when I do come and see you, do you mind then if I maybe can tell you if I think we're not going to be a good fit for each other? And obviously she's going to say yes. And once again, what that saying is we're important, we're good, we're authority, we choose our customers, and therefore you might not be chosen. As simple as that. So you're just sort of reinstating the fact that you're special, you're different, and your price is going to be higher because you're more professional and the way you do things is more professional. Then you just say again, so okay, say for instance, Vicky, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for calling your cleaning service. I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow, this day, this time. And obviously remember, they need to text you their address, just so you know where to go. And then just say bye. And it's literally your first call when a customer gets into your business that will make all the difference on how you deal with customers and how you make them feel and how you connect with them on that emotional level. Good luck on your sales bit. You can go through it again. And if you're interested, like I say, that's one of the lessons inside my customer magnet system. Really get that emotional connection with your customers. So that's it from me tonight, guys. I'll see you later.